Just something while I get my beer o'clock ready.
You had me at hello, 'cause where you go is where I go. I don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too.
You came right out of the blue. I wanna do what you want to. We can leave and run away someday, someday. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and save you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend. And call me anytime when you're at a tight end. You, I got you, and you got me too. We can always make it through. What we do is what we do. I can take you anywhere, somewhere. We won't be scared. You will see me flying high. I'm staring into your blue eyes. We don't need nobody else. I got you, and you got me too. I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need me too? 'Cause I need you. Yeah, so call me anytime that you need a favor. Call me anytime I can come and save you. Oh, oh. Call me anytime that you need a friend. And call me anytime when you're at a tight end. You, I got you.
You got me, got me. You got me, got me. You got me too. Got me, got me.
I've been saving you, and you save me too. Yeah, I need it, don't you need it too? 'Cause I got you.
And you got me too.
Well, welcome everyone. Oh, I love looking at those images of Kiara. I hope we can work together again soon. I'll keep messaging her, but she's that busy now with work. So hopefully we can do something again reasonably soon. Let me just quit that so it's out of the way. So that's gone. So how are we all? Welcome to the show. Let me just put this up a little bit. Hopefully the audio is in sync. Last week, some were saying it was out of sync, but it just depends. YouTube, it's all over the place. Who knows? I mean, I record it and it looks fine, so there's not much I can do about it, really. If it's out of sync, it's out of sync. So let me know if the audio is okay. I'm going to, this is pre-show, so we are in pre-show at the moment. I will put the timeline down below, so you will be able to skip to any story that you're interested in. Apart from that, you know, we've got some interesting stories to sort of share today, so I'm looking forward to taking you through all the news and rumours. So let's start, because we must open up. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I might be wearing a hat next week. I've got a growth up there again. I think it's another one of the skin things. Oh, God. So who knows? If they cut it out, I might be wearing a hat in next week's one. Cheers, everyone. Just about to get into my Corona. Nice. So let's go into the live chat. Who's saying COVID beer, Philip? Let's see who's in here. So at the moment, we've got Robbie saying, hey, we should do this on Clubhouse. I have got Clubhouse, but I haven't even used it yet. But I am on there, so I'm going to have to see if I can do something, because I'd love to have a live chat with you all. 95's also here as well. Clubhouse is saying. G'day, 95. Shadows is saying David is giving out stimulus checks. Yeah, I wish. Barry's saying, good morning, David. G'day, Barry. Heath is saying, hello, David and friends around the globe. Chris is also saying, hello, David. Raining in Los Angeles today, but a good Miller Lite day. Cheers. Great photos. Thanks, Chris. Well, it's a good day to be sitting down just having a chat with all of us then, isn't it? George said, greetings from New Jersey, where we still remember Nikon and Canon claims that Sony E-mount would never support 1.2 lenses. I know, George. It's a classic, isn't it? That was one of their big arguments, and now that's going to be blown out of the water. Well, it already is, because we have them, but it's the focusing lenses that we're now starting to get with Sigma and also now Sony. I'm going to talk about that one. G'day, Mark. How are you? Eric said, hello, David, New York City. Johnny Boy just said, okay. Philip also said, whoa, that COVID beard coming in between a while since I caught a live stream. Oh, wow. So you haven't seen me with it, Philip, because I've had it a while now. Victor said, hello from Livingston, New Jersey. James said, hi from South Mississippi. Don't you just love this? I mean, you know, we're just talking to everyone from all around the world. I just love that so much. Nash said 12 megapixel stills from the Sony A7S III just turned into 48 megapixels with the new Adobe update. I know, but the thing is, Nash, after I've been using it, it is incredible. I mean, you know, look, the results, where is it? Let me just check up here. Let me see if I can move that out. The results I'm getting from this camera are nuts. Oh. Long Rider. Nice shirt. I'm going to show it in a minute, Long Rider. Let me have a look here. Where are we? I've got to show you this shirt in a second. I'm just trying to open up some of these images that you'll see. Nothing wrong at all with the 12 megapixel sensors. Let me open up these. Let me bring this down to here. Let me come back to here and I'll show you. Can I go full screen? Yes, I can here. Nothing wrong with 12 megapixel sensors at all. They are unbelievable, really. Now, and you're right, that new sensor, the new ability in Photoshop, you can enlarge them. It's doing the same thing as gigapixel, I think. I've got to sort of look at it. I'm going to talk about the latest update to Photoshop as one of the stories today too. But, you know, it is amazing what you can do with that camera. It seriously is. At the moment, it is my favorite camera to shoot with. I just love it. I love the fold-out screen. I love the image it produces. You can also shoot with S-Cinetone to give your JPEGs a really nice look as well. So you don't just have to shoot it with your normal JPEG profiles. You can actually shoot with S-Cinetone, which gives you a really nice look too. I'm going to put a video up about that soon. But we did a few, you know, like it's there was another one here. Let me show you another one. So we had a really good shoot on that day. I did overpower the sun. It's not something I do a lot now, actually. I did overpower the sun for this shoot because I wanted to get the beautiful clouds in the background. So I wanted that there. So, you know, I've shot differently than I have done. Normally, I don't do the shoot sort of shot anymore, but I wanted to really push this. And, yeah, I'll do a video about this coming up in the coming days. Now, I must show you. Let me show you this T-shirt that Long Rider sent me. Hang on, let me have a look. You ready for this? Let me come back here. Let me just move this back, because you'll get a laugh, especially at the back. Let me take these off. Here we go. Now, wait till you see the back. Hang on. The thing is, I'm just such a short ass that it's too long. I said to Long Rider last week, I was going to wear it last week and it was way too big. But I had to wash it in hot water and hopefully it's enough that it will shrink it. Oh, I love it. It was out of focus though. Hang on, I need to move the mic because I think it was focusing on that. So let me see if that works. So let me just come back to here because I've got a couple of donations. So Long Rider that gave me a donation, even though he sent me the shirt. He said, nice shirt. Matthew also gave me $5 as well. Just said, hi, David. Thank you so much, Long Rider Matthew. Thank you so much. Let's keep going down here. Yeah, so that update is pretty cool. Now, remember, a 12 megapixel file size, you can get up to 16 by 20 without resizing it at all. So if you're not going to go above 16 by 20, 12 megapixels is ample. After I did it in that wedding test that I now realise that I can shoot anything with it now for weddings. Did I still have that image or did I get rid of it? No, I think I've got rid of it. It's all right. Oh, yeah, here. I'll show you. So this was another one that was done with the A7S3. Here, this image, what I took in the last wedding that I did. Got weddings again next weekend. No, I'm off this weekend, so I've got weddings next weekend, the weekend after. So this is, you know, it's going to be great. So, I mean, I absolutely adore using it. Focus is superb. Really enjoy using it. So I'm going to be using it extensively now. I'm not going to worry about it being 12 megapixels at all. It's ample for anything that I'm doing. Joe said, morning from Japan. That shirt looks familiar. Passenger 73 said. Matthew said, hi from Meza. John said, g'day, David from Texas. Benjamin said, hey, having a beer here in Holland. Well, cheers, Michael. Oh, no, Benjamin, I mean. Michael said, g'day, David. Hi from Kitchener, Ontario. Gigapixel works great. Yeah, I've got Gigapixel and it does work great. It's a very good software. So I'm dying to see how it works with the new Photoshop, particularly if you use the A1 version, the M1 version, because it's so fast. And I'll talk a little bit about that later. Benjamin, if you're in Holland, you should be smoking it up. So many revered cameras, D700. That's right. And I had the D700 Long Rider. It was amazing. Tony said, what's up? Erica said, which camera? Sony A7S III. My Sony A7000 is 12 megapixel and it was used for many wedding shoots. Yep. Laugh at later, I got the same shirt. Long Rider is quite a friend. Interesting. So you've got it as well. I just need to be a bit taller so it wouldn't look so big on me. Laugh at later, been to the Bulldog. What does that mean? Tony said, hey, David, can you please talk me into buying the A1. I've had it in my cart several times now, but always lose heart and can't. Look, Tony, the A1 is a fantastic camera. It really is a brilliant camera. It just depends on whether you need that much camera or not. Only you can answer that. Depending on what you would use it for, you may be better to get something like a Sony A7S III and then an A9 or an A9 II. If you need all the features that that's offering, though, it's probably the best camera. It's obviously the best camera that's out there at the moment. You just have to justify the cost. So if you can justify the cost, I would buy the A9, the A1 in a heartbeat. But if you can't fully justify the cost, you might be better off to buy another camera like an A9 II or an A9 and then get some really good lenses, you know, a really good lens for the same price. It really just depends what you want to do. You could probably buy two lenses. So it's hard to say, but, you know, I mean, look, if money was no object for me, I would buy it, definitely. But I think the next camera I get may be another A7S III or the A7 IV, depending on what that is when that comes out. So I'm definitely going to be waiting for that. Hogarth said, hi from Southwest Ontario, and Tony said wildlife. Well, yes, Tony, it would be great for wildlife particularly. You've got the megapixels, 50 megapixels, unbelievable focus. So if you're shooting something like that, wildlife and sports, and you've got the money, yep, I would go for it. All right, so let's get started on the show. So I'm just going to put the time in. It's 14, so I can put those down below. 14:40 I'll put. 14:40, because we've got a bit to cover today, actually. So the first story today is this rumor, well, it's Sony's lens rumor that's just come out. Keep firing away in the chat too, because I will come back to you. The wild rumor is Sony's lens roadmap for 2021. So they're now putting up things talking about what lenses are going to be coming up in the this year. Just reading what Long Rider said. David, the original A9 and the A7R3 are the two best bargains. They are. The A9 and the A7R3 are really good bargains now. I still love my A9. So what they're saying here is that one source claims to know the entire 2021 lens roadmap. And he sent me this rumor a month ago, he's saying. Now, we already know about the 51.2, and I'll discuss that in the next story. But what they're saying is here, so it's got 51.2, we know that. So they're also saying a new macro GM lens. So I wonder what size they're going to put that. That's going to be interesting. Probably something around the 50 to 60 mark, I would guess at. Remember, we've already got the 90 mil. Now, a lot of macros too are what, the 100 and 110, so they may go a little bit longer, I'm not sure. But I've got a feeling that they may bring out one that's sort of around that 50 to 60. A 16 millimeter 1.8 lens. That'd be pretty cool, but I'd want something a bit wider than that. I'm hoping Sony brings out, say, something around about 12 or 14, because I am in the market for a wider angle lens. They're still saying 100 1.4. There's been rumors about that for a long time. It's just never eventuated. 800 mil 5.6. That probably will come out in time for the Olympics, I would think. And these, obviously, I've been talking about these for ages. The 2470 2.8 has to be updated, and the 70 to 200 2.8 also has to be updated. So I think these two definitely will be updated as soon as possible. They're really starting to show their age now, particularly when you compare them to lenses like the 135 GM, which has that linear mode of focus. So I think that's going to be coming out as well. But I'm just surprised there's no 85 mil in there, because the 85 really is long in the tooth now. So I'm surprised that is not being mentioned at this stage in this list. I would have thought that would have definitely been there. But it is what it is. It's saying they're saying here too, if this roadmap holds true, which lens would you consider to buy? Well, looking at all of these, I'll probably, because I haven't got one, I'm probably going to go for a new macro, but I'm just going to put in and see what people are voting for. The 51.2 may be popular. The 51.2 is 17%. So the most is the 2470. Yeah, I can understand that too. I mean, like I said, they are the staples of particularly wedding and event photographers and people like that. They always want the 2470 and the 70 to 200. There's some issues with my 70 to 200 f4 Sony lens because it blacks out when you're using the A7S III. When we had the last wedding, we had issues with it. So that obviously needs a firmware update. It hasn't had a firmware update, I don't think, since 2017. So if they don't update that, I'm clearly going to have to sell it. And I'll probably get something like a Tamron, the 70 to 180 to replace it with. So it looks like I may have to sell it because it's not compatible with my Sony A7S III, which is a real bummer. Because I like using that. Well, Kerry uses it in weddings, and she sort of snipes around. She'll go at the back and she'll zoom in. In fact, it was so bad that we had to put the 135 on. So it's a bit of a problem. So let me know in the chat, particularly down below too, what you think you'd like to sort of have from Sony. I mean, we are blessed now. There's lots and lots of lenses that we can buy now. There's rumours of a Tamron lens that I'll talk about soon as well. But like I said, really the only one that's missing from there that I would have sort of expected was the 85 1.2 would be just unbelievable if Sony could bring that out. A GM, with the focus linear modus of the 135 would be super fast focusing, and it would be terrific to have. The others, yes, and I would really like them to get at, like I said, a 12 millimeter or a 14. I don't think we've already got 16 covered, I suppose not in primes, but we've already got 16 covered by the 16 to 35 f4 and the 16 to 35 GM. So I'm not, over too excited about that, but some of you may be. We've got the 20 1.8 already, and we've also got the 24 GM, which I adore. That's on here. So that's on there now. You can't really see it, but let me just come over here. That's on here now. Oh, this cage too. Check out, this cage is unbelievable. I love this cage. This was the new one. I've done a video review of this talking about all the bits and pieces and the extras that I've got on it. But what I didn't realise, and I left this out of the discussion, it has a NATO rail on the side. So this attaches by NATO rail. The one I was suggesting was the screw-in one, but in fact, you're better off with this because you can take this off and on really easily. Just undo the NATO rail there and it's gone. So the NATO rail's here. I didn't notice that at first when I looked at it, but and I bought this. I actually purchased this out of my own money, so I didn't get this sent to me. Smalley often do, but this was my own. But you can see here that, you know, how form this fits around the camera. It's really good. And around the corner, it sits so close to it, and the front bit here gives you a little bit to grip onto as well. So it's just super. I love it. That's going to stay on my camera permanently. Some people say they hate the red on there, but I think, you know, you could just black it out if you didn't want it. It would be easy to do, put a bit of tape on or colour it or something. Let's get back to the lens announcement. So yeah, it's interesting what they're saying there. Now we're obviously still going to get from, it does look like Mad Max stuff. We're obviously going to get some other lenses from Sigma and Tamron, but this is only the Sony lenses that they're talking about through here. So I'll come back to the chat at the end and we can have a look. Let me check now other Sony lens rumors, because there's a couple that I've got in here. 21, let's put in 30, be close enough. All right, so the next thing is talking about the 50mm 1.2. Now, Sony have done some voodoo magic again here, it looks like. Because look at the size of this thing. Like, this is nuts. If you're comparing it to the Sigma 50 1.4, now I suppose the lens hood's on, or is it not? This is where I get confused sometimes, because this is where sometimes I wish Sony Alpha Rumors wouldn't do this. They compare the Sigma lens with a lens hood on, and then neither of these have got the lens hood on. Really, that should be taken off. I think that's unfair. So you could see, though, that the Sigma is bigger, though. I mean, it's actually a little bit taller. And in fact, the 1.2 is not much bigger than the 50 1.4. So it's pretty amazing. Like I said, they've done some voodoo magic on this. This is going to have the great focusing linear motors in it. They're also saying, too, which I like, the filter size is 72mm, so, you know, it's not too big. Close focus distance is 0.4 meters or 1.32 feet. And it's a little bit shorter than the Sigma 50 1.4, lighter than the Zeiss 50 1.4. So it looks like this is going to be a fantastic announcement. So if you want a really good, beautiful lens, this is going to be one that, if you like that 50mm focal length. I won't be getting this. I'm happy with the 55 that I've got. And the 24, I'd purchase another lens before I get this, because my main lenses I use are the 24, the 24, the 85. I prefer that as a focal length for what I do, and then the 135. And if I need a 50 millish, I've got the 55 one. But if you're in the market and you love 50mm, this is going to be an amazing lens. It's going to be stunning, I think, particularly at f1.2. And the way Sony produce these G-Master lenses now, I think this is going to blow people's minds when it's released. It's going to be expensive, though. But if you've got the money to do it, it'll be fantastic. Rob just said, I just ordered the Sony Zeiss 55mm this afternoon. Yeah, you'll love it. I love that lens. It's so small, so light, great focusing. It's terrific, nice and sharp. So that's interesting. Anyway, now they're saying that the announcement is going to be on March the 16th. So it's not that far away. But boy, if you look at the size of that thing, I really would love to have a shoot of it. Like Ike said, g'day Ike, the Nikon 50 1.2 is on his wish list as well. A lot of photographers love shooting with 50mm. You know, and now it's there. We've got that option of having it there anyway. You know, and I think it's probably going to be much lighter and easier to handle than what the Sigma particularly is. But you've got this at 1.2 as well. And like I said, all the new GMs, like the 135 and the 24, are crazy how good those lenses are. This is why I'm saying to you that if they brought out an 85 now, you could just imagine how good that would be. An 85 1.2 would be quite big though. But I don't know, they're doing some voodoo magic now that it may not be as big as what we think it would be. Tony, nice street lens, yep. Let me just keep going here, because there's also rumours that Tamron are going to announce a lens this morning as well. I did put a few feed outs to see if I could find out what it was, and I just got a smiley face back. But they're saying they're going to announce a 200mm lens on March the 15th. Now, there's no rumours yet about what the lens is, what, you know, f-stop the lens is going to be or anything like that. All they're saying is that it's going to be a 200mm focal length. It'll be interesting to see what it'll be, maybe 2.8, or it could be something, 5.6 or whatever. I'm not sure, but it's going to be interesting to see what this is, and no doubt I'll get this lens to review. So stay tuned for that, because I'm pretty excited about anything that Tamron brings out. Remember too, there's rumors that they're also going to be bringing out a macro as well. That does excite me, because I've only got this, the 35 APS-C macro lens. So I definitely would like to get a macro lens that can push me a little bit further away. So I'm dying to see what Tamron release in that regard. Now I wanted to talk to you all about this, because I don't know about this at all. You can now pre-order this anyway. It's $229, and it's the Sony ECM W2BT wireless microphone. And it's basically your one transmitter and one receiver. So I don't think this will work at all in pairs, so you can't do sort of interviewing with it. But if we look at the images of this, when I've seen this on people's shirts and stuff, it's huge. It really is big. Now, what's the advantage? Well, look, the advantage is that it's a digital interface. So this is the advantage of this microphone. So you can plug it straight in. Now, it's like this. So it's the exact same interface of like this one. Where are we? So it's got the same interface as this. Let me just see if I can get me out of focus. So it's got that same interface. So it's digital going straight in. That's what the pins are on the end of this. And look, I have to admit that the sound quality I get from this is really quite superb. I mean, it is fantastic. And for a on-camera mic, I love this thing. But I just don't know about this one, because I just think it's too big. And look, I know there's an advantage about having things digital to go straight in, but the issues for me is that if you compare this to what we're getting with the new Rode Wireless Go 2, if you compare it to what you're getting with this, for a similar cost, you're getting two receivers. Two transmitters and one receiver, obviously. But not only that, you can do safety tracks. It's got software, so you can download this in 32-bit float. It's got a USB-C attachment, so you can use a USB-C. You've got to buy this as an extra, but you can put USB into this C, and then you can take this directly into your iPhone or iPad, any iOS device, and it'll go straight into your computer as well, and things like that. So, and I was saved by this the other day when I did that shoot, because what happened was I'd never used these before, and I used the Ninja V to do the recording, and we only had around an hour to get the shots done, because they were closing the park down. We didn't realise it, so I had to work incredibly fast. So I put this all on, and I thought I had a decent signal on my Ninja V. I really should have checked it, but look, this was not a paid shoot, so I just wanted to do this with the girls because they've been in lockdown for so long, so I offered them an extra shoot. So I had an hour to do this. Now, I thought the meters were reading okay, but when I got back home, the meters, there was almost no signal in it at all. Now, the beauty of this is it does a recording internally. It'll record up to 17 hours or something. If you record no compression, it does 7 hours or something. So I used the internal recording of this. I will be using that in the video I posted. So this saved me on that day immediately. So not only does this have the safety tracks and things like that, but it also has internal recording. So I really don't think, looking at that Sony, I would not be getting that. I'd be getting the Wireless Go 2, definitely over that Sony. There's no way I'd be paying that sort of money for something that looks massive when you put it onto your thing anyway. It looked huge. It hasn't got redundancy in the fact that it records internal. It doesn't have 32-bit float, like I said, what that has. Well, it's not true 32-bit, but it does export in 32-bit float. Also, you've got the ability to have two people talking into this, because it has the two transmitters as well, and it has the safety track that you can put into this as well. So, I really think it's way overpriced, like way overpriced. And I think they're too late to the game with this. They really are too late to the game with this. It should have had internal recording for sure. They should have seen the writing on the wall and given that there. So I just wanted to show that with you as well. Let me come down here to other news. What are we on? 30. 30, and it's 30-30. I'll put 30-40. 30-40. So yeah, let me know what you think about it anyway, but I wouldn't be buying that. I'd definitely be getting the wireless Go. I think they're now leagues ahead of anything else that's out there at the moment if you're talking about wireless technology. So let's go to the next one. We've got, this came out the other day, I noticed. We've got an update to Capture One. Now, I have switched completely to Capture One, and I'm going to do a video talking about that because what I've done is I've gone to Photo Mechanic, and then I've also now using Capture One. So I'm using Photo Mechanic to do my initial sorting and sort of cataloging, and then I'm using Capture One from there. So I have changed my system completely. But there's one update in this particularly that is great because at the moment there's this Pro format that you can use when you go into Capture One, which gives you definitely nicer color. It's some, I can't remember the exact name. It's Pro something. Someone else might be able to remember. I've gone blank. But when you bring your image in, your camera in, you can use the Adobe standards, or you can use this Pro format that you can use, and it's such a lovely picture profile format. So the problem was at the moment only the A7 III was supported. But this new update, they've added the A9. They've also added the A1. The A7S III hasn't been added yet. I don't think that was added, so you can't use that. But now at least I can use my A9 and the A7 III and get that Pro support color in there as well. So it's just incredible. And it really is a beautiful color profile. Now they've added full A1 support in this, and they've given things like style brushes. It's Pro Standard. Yeah, it's down there. Silly idiot, David. It's this thing that really matters to me. This Pro Standard profile is brilliant. And that's now been added. The other thing too, I've got to research this because I noticed that the reason why I use Photo Mechanic is because it's so fast. It is incredibly fast at ingesting, which means when you, say, do a wedding, you just put your card in and then it just shoots straight through. Well, it's incredibly fast to process. But they are now saying that this has been increased incredibly, and they've given things now like proper thumbnails so you can view them larger and things like that. So I'll have to do a test, but there may be no longer a need to use Photo Mechanic. So I've now got to check that to see how it goes, and it'll be funny because I've bought Photo Mechanic, but so I'll let you know when I do a test at that. So it might be that I just use Capture One now that they've brought this new ingesting in for doing quick, like dumping the images that you don't like and all that sort of stuff. Remember, if you do a wedding, and on average, I probably take about 1,000 images. I know take a lot more than that, but I take around 1,000, and then I'll dump probably 300 of those. Well, I can do that immediately now on import, and that's the way I want to work because it means that I have less data going into my computer, and it also means I don't have to do it later. I've done it as the card's going in, so it's a great feature to have. So I'll have to test it, but yeah, Photo Mechanic is great. It's such a great program and so fast, so I'll have to test it. I'll be surprised if it's as quick as what Photo Mechanic is. Also, I love the way you can find images through Photo Mechanic. It's just superb. So anyway, great update. I think you'll probably find soon there'll be a native M1 Mac version of this. It's only a matter of time before that comes, but I'll talk about that when I go through Photoshop at the end here. But Capture One, I love. G. Mercer said, I'm not a fan of Capture One, I own it. I love it. I really do love it. I think I've got far more control over what I'm doing for images than what I had before. And the other thing too is I just got the loop deck as well. I don't know whether you can see that. So I'm using this now, and you can control everything through this loop deck. So this is brilliant. So you use your wheels and everything to change the colors and everything, but I'll do a video about that coming up too, because I've got a couple of little gadgets, and I've also got the Steam Deck as well. So, I've got all these little gadgets that are helping me to edit much faster. So Capture One I've found now with this latest update is terrific, and I really can't wait now to start using it fully. Like I said, I've dumped Lightroom completely, and I'm so happy with the way it performs. So that's that update. So remember, you've got the A1 now included, and you've also got the A9 included in the Pro Standard format. It also says here too that the other improvements, new methods of linking brush settings, improved visibility in the keystone tool. Before it was just too hard to see, and the viewer max zoom is increased. But like I said, the cataloging part had been improved. This import viewer now makes it sort of similar to what Photo Mechanic has, and you can see your images very large and it's very quick. It reads the JPEGs and then you can offload those images as well. So it looks terrific. Now, another thing too, Adobe has also now added RAW support for the A1 and the FX3. So they're both in there now as well. So if you do have those cameras now, they are now natively supported. So that's something that's great as well. That's all I really want to say about that though. There's new firmware released this week as well. The A7 III has had new firmware, and the A9 II has had new firmware. I've updated the firmware. I did it the other day. Look, I haven't even looked to see what it's changed. It looks like it's all to do with the FTP transfer, uploading files and things like that. So it's all to do with that. It doesn't look like there's been anything else added at all. So clearly in the A7 III, we're not going to get the color ability to change your color focus mode to say red or blue or whatever. It's a real problem. I really wish they'd change it, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it. They just say it's all transferring of images and stuff like that. Allows to transfer all images automatically while shooting. So you can see it's all to do with the FTP server updates. So I suppose too, if you're tethering or going FTP, it'll make a big difference. The only other thing it saves your image data directly under a folder that you choose. So that's new. Register the media card slot number in the folder configuration. Register the folder configuration the same as your camera. And they're saying as well that it allows you to set items under server settings by using the smartphone application transfer and tagging add-on. And then you always get this improve the stability of the camera. Matt said too, hey David, I'm about to buy the A7S III. You're going to love it. Moving, Matt. You're going to love it. I was going to hold off on the CF Express Type A for now, but is there any fast SD cards that you recommend? Just get a really decent V90 card. I mean, I wouldn't skimp on it. I'd probably get, one of the really decent ones out there. I can't really recommend anything because I've never used them. Because I've only ever used the Sony cards and then the SanDisk, and now I've got the CF Express Type A cards. But you can do everything basically on a V60 or a V90. I think V90 you can do basically everything, and some V60 cards are good too. Just get, a really sort of decent size one though, moving Matt. But yeah, someone else may be able to recommend some V90 cards as well in the chat. So hopefully that'll happen too. So now the A9 has had a couple of things change. It said it adds, this is the A9 II though, not the A9 I. It adds the crop function to allow you to crop a recorded still image. So obviously you can do that. I think they're talking about a movie image here, I think, because it says recorded. Oh no, it's still image. So perhaps it is just a normal still image. Adds the force file number reset option, so you can force the images to reset in the camera. As well. New folder you can make, allow you to reset the still image file number and create a new folder. So it's similar to what you were sort of saying in the A7 III. It has improved a phenomenon that some functions are not registered correctly in the function menu, and improves overall stability of the camera. So anyway, it's interesting. At least they've still updated it. But like I said, it's not really much for me at all with that. Now, let me bring up talking about the Nikon Z9, because it looks like it's going to be a terrific camera. What are we on? 39, 40. So the Nikon, I'll come back to the chat, guys. I will come back. Nikon has announced the development of this Z9. Kerry always goes crook at me and she said, you should say Z9, but it is actually called the C9, if you're listening, Kerry. Now, they're saying here that this is the look of the camera, and it looks typical, tank sort of D4Ss, that sort of camera, D6, things like that. It's beautiful and built like a tank. It will basically, you'll be able to drop this and let it roll down the street, or if you're being attacked, you could hit someone with it. It's going to have, then they're saying that they don't know what megapixel this is going to have, but I'll talk about that in a minute. Now, it's going to be an FX format stack CMOS sensor and a new processor to support 8K. So it is going to support 8K video. Nikon shared scant details about it. They said that it's on par, of course, for Nikon's development announcement. The D6 development was announced in a similar fashion. So they do give you an announcement and then it'll be really released later on. But it's just to get people interested. I'd expect this to be a really good camera, though. The company is saying that it promises the Z9 will bring together Nikon's set of groundbreaking technologies, the best still and video performance in Nikon's history. The camera will supposedly meet the most advanced needs of professionals across a wide variety of photography. Like I said, it's going to give you the ability to shoot 8K. Now, down here, it did say that they were determining what the megapixels were going to be, because they're saying there's rumors that they're looking at different megapixels from 45 up to 60. But they have said that it will do 20 frames per second through blackout-free EVF, like the Sony Alpha A1 and the A9 series. It's going to have a 16-bit RAW option, a new user interface, and improved noise levels and better dynamic range. And they're saying that they will have some available for the 2021 Olympics. That will only be for the photographers that are going there. I read another article saying that don't expect to be able to get this in a hurry at the moment. There's real problems with being able to get the silicon at the moment because there's a real worldwide shortage, apparently. I was reading about that this morning. So they're saying, yes, you might have initial photographers for the Olympics, and that would be a good thing because it sort of gets the interest out there. But general release, you may be lucky to get this in the new year, in this year. But anyway, it's great for Nikon. This obviously now is the death knell to the D6 series, to their digital SLRs. That's probably the end of it now. You won't get another release anymore because this is going to be their flagship camera that's going to be available. So you will get 8K, you'll get 4K 60, it'll have everything that you need. This is their real high-end, industrial sort of grade camera, and I've owned D4Ss before, and they really are indestructible. So great weather sealing. In fact, I've dropped mine and it rolled down a hill. I just picked it up and there was not a mark on it, and I just went firing away. Everyone else was, horrified. They are built like a tank. So anyway, that's exciting news if you're a Nikon shooter. Now, lastly, before we go to Q&A, I wanted to talk about this because Photoshop did do an update, a big update yesterday to Apple Silicon, or it might have been the day before. I think it was yesterday, though. The issue is, though, that no plugins work. And I did a whole video talking about this. If you want to check it out, check it out. And I showed why that it's not working. 95 gave me a donation too. This is dedicated to moving Matt, so you can see me too. Hello, let me just show it. Where are we? Down there. Thanks, mate. So this is a problem. Now, the issue is too that it is incredibly fast. I'm not joking. If you open up the M1 version of Photoshop, it literally is, you can see that it's basically double the speed. It is nuts how fast that program works. And in fact, I just opened it up this morning and there was a Raya Pro update that came out. I use Raya Pro plugins, Raya Pro, and they work into the new system. So they have done it under this new system that's required for Adobe. So it just shows that the people can do it now, but they have to rewrite the whole of their plugins to support this new architecture. Now you can open up Photoshop in Rosetta mode. And to be honest, Photoshop in Rosetta runs as good as what I had when I had my previous Mac. It is, like, I shouldn't be negative about it because it does run incredibly fast. And in fact, I haven't had any issues running it at all. It's been super to use. It's just that after you've opened up the native M1 version and to see how fast that works, that when you have to open it up into Rosetta, you notice a difference. When I went from, say, my Mac Pro and I got the new iPad mini, Photoshop ran faster. Like it's superb how well it runs in Rosetta. But boy, when you open it up in native mode, it is nuts. So, you know, that they are talking about this, how fast this actually is. And they've done performance tests and they're showing all over that it's, you know, it's basically massive speed differences with the M1. But like I said, if you're using plugins, it's no good for you at all. And so it's a real problem. They're saying, in fact, that the Mac Mini, which is what, less than $1,000, is basically beating a $6,700 fully loaded 16-inch MacBook Pro. It's nuts how fast these things are working. So it looks like we're going to have to wait for up to 12 months for all of the plugin writers to rewrite all of their plugins to support the M1. Apparently the old version, and like I said, I've discussed this and I've showed it all in that previous video. So if you're interested, check out the previous one that I've got. 95 Dickers gave me a donation too. Try Adobe on the iPad Pro and you will see the max speed. Yep. Well, this is basically the same. It's running native. It is nuts. It's unbelievably fast. Like you don't even notice it opening. It's just... It's incredible. I can't wait for everything to be ported over correctly. So check out the last video and explain what's happened about it. There's nothing we can do about it at this stage unless, like I said, Adobe can bring out that option to bring that back. I'm not sure they can. It might be that it just won't work on the native system. So, you know, like I said, at least you can boot up into Rosetta mode and then it will still work fine. So let me go to Q&A. I'm going to open this up. So what are we on? 46. Oh, it's 47 actually. 47. 20. 47, 15. Okay, so let's open up Q&A and fire away anything that you'd like me to discuss as well. Let me come back here. See where we were over. Oh, all right. So we'll start from somewhere around here. What beverage is he having today? I'm just having the Corona. All right, let's go from here. Yes, he's talking about something else there. I'm hoping Tamron is bringing out a long prime. Well, yeah, well, it looks like they are. According to that. Missed the first shipment of the A1, so still waiting. I did notice, though, that you can get the, what is it? The, I've gone blank. The, the new Sony camera that's come out that's like the A7S3. Someone in the live chat help me. But I did notice it's in stock. Let me just go to Sony. I'll just check if you still can get it. Let me have a look. New window. Oh, FX3. I went blank. Let me see if it's still available because they were saying that it's in stock. Where was it? So let me try and just see what's happened. See if it's still in stock. Yep. So it's actually in stock, which is nuts. See, it's saying it's there, 3,898. So it is in stock. That's at B&H. Wow. I mean, when you think about it, that makes me think how popular this is actually going to be because if you look at it, you can buy that immediately now. You can't get the A1. The A1 you just can't get. But it looks like the FX3 you can purchase right now. So that's interesting. So it may not going to be sell so well. I still think if you look at both cameras, I would prefer to get the A7S3 over the FX3, but that's me personally. I think you can't, you just need the viewfinder. Greetings from the Wisconsin, the United States. The A1 is by far the best for birds in flight. Yeah, it'll be amazing. It really would be amazing. Long Rider 800 5.6. If you want a really wide lens, try the Voigtlander 12mm. 5.6, not terribly fast, but optically spectacular. Yeah, I should have a look at those, shouldn't I? Tony said he loves his 70 to 200. Look, there's nothing wrong with it, Tony. It's just that after you've used something like the 135, you notice how slow that is in focusing, and that's the issue. It also will have trouble keeping up, remember, with the A1. It's just not fast enough. That's the issue. I mean, perhaps they might be able to do an update in the firmware. I'm not sure. Really appreciate it, guys, too, if you could give me a thumbs up. It does make a difference to the channel, so I would appreciate that. 800 will be over $10,000, 12K. Might have to sell a kidney. Yeah, it would be really expensive. Long Rider said he almost bought the 10. 95 said, I think I'm going to sell my R4. Really? What are you going to get? Why are you thinking about selling it? You just don't use it? Axman said 2470 would definitely consider, yep. I think you would be happy with it. Sunstars are unbelievable. Oh, that's through the lenses you were talking about before, yep. 24 GM, 135, 50 GM. Yep, what a great combo. Ben said 16mm will be popular for vloggers, but will make my fat face even worse. Yeah, the thing is it's too wide. I think 16 is just too wide. 20mm is probably about the right one if you're dealing with vlogging, I think. I hesitated because everyone said the 12 was better. Oh, the 12's been discontinued, has it? Oh, okay. Jaded Filmmaker, g'day, mate. How you going? Expensive habit buying lenses. Yeah, it certainly is, but at least they last you a lifetime, I suppose. That's a good thing about it. I just ordered the Sony Zeiss 55 1.8 this afternoon. You'll love that lens. I love it. The Nikon 50 is on my wish list, Ike said. Might pick up a gently used Zeiss 50mm 1.4. Great lens. It is a good lens. I really like my Zeiss 55 1.8. I do too, Woody. I think it's great. Remember when people were saying just a Sony E-mount size that Sony would not be able to make 1.2 lenses? I do remember that. They were all banging Sony saying because of the size of the opening that they wouldn't be able to get 1.2 lenses on there. Well, that's certainly been proved false now. Will there be another Blackmagic pocket camera coming this year? Who knows? There may be. Langston said, hey kids, g'day Langston, how are you? Langston just bought into Sony A7S3 as well, so he's partnering that up with his Blackmagic cameras as well. Tony said, I would love to get the 130. I love that lens, the 135 GM. It is incredible. It's my go-to portrait lens. It really is. If I've got the room to use it, I will always put that on. Love the 51.4, Mark said, so no deal. Should be said that it takes some experience to shoot at 1.2. Yeah, I don't think I'd have an issue with it, but Mark said, just curious. I was talking about something else there. Langston said, that's a weird lav, digital or not. Better be magical to have such an odd and difficult to hide size. Yeah, it's not a good design, Langston. That Sony one is not good. I'd be getting the Rode Wireless Go 2. I certainly would not get the Sony. There goes my Sony sponsorship again. I love it. I don't see them releasing another camera besides the Pocket 6K Pro. Langston's answering the thing about the Blackmagic cameras. Jade Film says, but. Mark said the stereo lav mic is extra on the Sony. Oh, okay. So you can get it. Yep, Rode all the way. You can't beat that internal recording and the safety channel in it and stuff. It's just amazing what they're giving you with that Rode Wireless Go for the dollars. Pema said the Sony A7 IV would be released Q3. Yeah, I've always said it'll probably be announced mid-year and then you'll be able to get it sometime near September, October. I'm thinking that's probably when it will be announced. 32-bit float should let you recover those incorrect levels. Yep. I did play around with it, and it's actually really good, Langston. The audio is terrific. It just doesn't record. This is what I don't know enough about it, but I don't think it records in 32-bit float, but it does give you the ability to save in 32-bit float, which gives you the ability to manipulate it more in post later on. Whether they can add 32-bit float through firmware, could be a possibility, recording in 32-bit float. But it is a beautiful analog sound that you're getting through it. It's really nice. I mean, it's a great audio that you're getting through there. or digital, I should say. Mark said, should be mentioned here that the Rode firmware update requires you to download the software again. Yeah, I've had two updates since I've got the Rode. They're updating it fairly often, actually. Langston said, so it does record 32-bit. No, it doesn't, Langston. I think it only exports it as 32-bit float. Benjamin said the mic in the RX, but it's only the good thing I see in the mic, and the names are impossible to remember. I know the naming conventions are shocking. The Nikon Z9 and the Canon EOS R1 would definitely beat Sony A1 without a doubt. Canon is king of the camera industry. Nikon's file is superior than Sony. I don't know about that. I think it's going to be interesting. Remember, the A1's already out there and it's brilliant. I mean, you can't say anything bad about that camera at all. Mark, sounds like you are used to the Rode software. How much pain is it to use? It's really easy, Langston. The software is very, very easy, very easy. Congratulations, David. You have seen the light and ditch Lightroom. Yep, certainly have. Let me just show you. I'll just put it in. Let me see if I can bring it up, and I'll show you how simple it is to operate. All right, so it's called Rode Central, and I need to get a lead. Hang on. All right, so let me switch over to the desktop here, and I'll see if I can enlarge it up for you. Because this, honestly, this software is the ants pants. All right, so all I do is I just connect this is the receiver. All right, so I just connect that into the computer. Now, you don't even have to turn it on. So the second I just put it in, it will boot up the software. You can see it came up immediately. Now, if there was new firmware, it would immediately say you need to upgrade your firmware. So in here, this is now how you operate it. It is so simple. To turn the lighting on or off permanently, you just click on this. You can click in here and say gain mode. You can do it coarse, which is your 3 presses, or you can go fine, where you can go up in 0 dB and then move it up to what you'd like. So you've got, you know, very, very good control when you turn that on. So it's much better control than what you used to have before. Here is just where you determine whether it's going to be split. So if you have the 2 transmitters, you can have one go to one side and one go to the left side. That's great if you've got 2 people in it, but I like to do it as merge, because if you do it as merge, you get a safety channel. So what it does is it gives you, you can turn that on or off. It gives you a safety channel that records, I think it's 20 dB lower than what you've got in your other channel. So you've always got that there in case if you get a you know, a spike or something like that, and it's great. The other thing too is you can put markers in. So if you think you've had an issue, you can just press the, you know, the little round power button, and it will stick a marker on at that point. So this is the actual transmitter. Well, let me take that off and I'll show you how the, that's the receiver. I'll put the transmitter in and I'll show you that. So again, great now because they don't have the thing that, you know, drops out. It sits in perfectly. So if I put the transmitter in there, you'll notice now that these are the recordings that I did the other day. So what you've got here is there's 2 recordings that I did. I did one for 30 minutes and also another one for 4.31. This is the one that I used the other day to get down. Now you can see here, it tells you in red where you've had an audio dropout. And this is where a signal has disappeared. So it marks on the software where you probably are going to have to replace the audio with the audio that's internal, which is great. And then you can just click it to play the audio. I'll just put this up here, and then I think we're ready to go. How many outfit changes did we bring? Okay, no, that's all right. Now, if you export it, you can just go into here. Now, you'll notice that you can go 32-bit float, so you can do it through there. You can also save it in WAV MP3, and you can change your kilohertz as well. So, you know, it's so easy to use. Now, the thing here is it tells you your battery strength that you've got left. And if you click on the little cog wheel there, this is where you put your recording on. So you just click onto that and then it will record in. Now you get the option of recording in broadcast quality or standard compressed. I'm broadcast quality, which means you get 6 hours. I think it's 7. It's because I've already recorded stuff. If you go to standard quality, you get 39 plus 40 hours of recording. You know, it's brilliant. Like, this really, I know you shouldn't use game changers much, but this seriously is game-changing software and hardware, because this is fantastic. So now whenever I'm doing anything, I can have the mic on me and I know it's doing a recording in case if it drops out. I'll see that recording when I look at it because it tags it in the areas that I showed you before. You know, if you look at the things in here, it'll sort of put that purple tag, the pink tag in, so you know where you've had an issue. You can export it and use that, you know, in your other devices. So yeah, the software is as easy as to control. Now at the moment though, the only issue is you have to do it on the Mac, but they're going to be releasing soon an iPhone and an Android version of this, so you could do it in the field, and that will be brilliant. I can't wait for them to do that. And I'm not sponsored by them. I bought these. A good Aussie company. I bought these, ordered them as a pre-order a couple of weeks ago, and I got it a week or so ago. So, you know, I should do a video about it. But like I said, it saved my butt the other day. But brilliant. It does charge off USB-C as well. So, you know, they're fantastic. You could charge it off a USB-C battery brick in case if you were worried about running out of power. And like I said, you can buy a cable that will connect it to your phone as well. But just brilliant. They're really, really brilliant. Pro picture profiles. Yeah, thanks, Ike, for that. Let me just come back to here. I love Photo Mechanic. I do too. It's so fast. G Mercer said he's not a fan of Capture One. He owns it. I really like Capture One. Ike said Lightroom works fine on my M1, but Capture One is not only a faster program, but in my opinion, it's better program for color grading. It is, and things like, you know, your gradient maps, sort of that sort of stuff, doing corrections of color tone for skins and things like that. It's so much more powerful. It really is. 95 said, I bought Photo Mechanic with the Plus and I don't use it. Yeah, I got the Plus version too. You should have a go at it though. It's so good for finding images and stuff. Once you tag stuff, you can find images so easily, like back from anywhere. You know, the good thing is that how it works, it's so good and so quick at it that if I wanted to find a wedding that I did from ages ago, I can just use the tag profiles away it searches and it'll bring it up instantly. Like, it's so handy to have. Did you say Capture One or Luminar? I've got Luminar, but Capture One for sure. Definitely. Use Bridge, ACR Photoshop. That Bridge is quite good too. Jada Film said, but. Mark said, it is intuitive and easy enough. Had it not been able to read one lav at one stage before the update, but worked after reconnecting. There was some early problems, I believe, that if you had over a certain period of time, you couldn't download the file, but they've been fixed now in the firmware updates that have come out. I used it for a while, but did not find it intuitive. I use On1 now. On1's a good program too. 95 says, I have the older loop deck. Yeah, this one is so cool. This one is, you know, it's like the ultimate device. It really is. Oh, this for editing in Final Cut is unbelievable. And I love it too in Capture One and stuff in Photoshop too. It switches automatically over and the dial is just so good, the way it works. Oh, Moving Matt did something there too. Hey, David, I'm about to buy the A7S. I was going to... Oh, no, I've already talked about that before. Capture One is more for advanced users who like more control and features. If you just do basic stuff or presets, Lightroom is fine. See, the other program I bought too, and I did buy it because I didn't know which way I was going to go. I also bought DxO Photolab 4. And I now use them sort of in combination because the noise reduction in Photolab 4 is the best noise reduction I've ever seen. So I do use that as a plug-in. And also DxO Photolab has the best lens profiles of any software that's out there. So if I'm after, what I'll do is I'll open it up in Capture One and then I can go directly to DxO Photo Lab, or if I'm in Photoshop, I can go into DxO Photo Lab as well. And I'll tend to use DxO Photo Lab if I'm doing lens profile corrections and also noise reduction. That's the two parts, and I would have bought the software just for that alone. It is brilliant at that two things. There's nothing like it. So I even use that as part of my workflow now too. I'm going to have to do a video and show it all being used. And I bought DxO Photo Labs first. I bought that before I bought Capture One because I thought, well, I might go DxO Photo Lab. But now I'm using Capture One with DxO Photo Lab and also Photoshop. Benjamin said, yes, wanted to bring more AI into editing with faster editing as I mainly do video, but like I'm creating for my Instagram. Oh, okay. Langston says he bought some Kodak V90 cards. Cool. Also, one of the Sony Tough V90s as well. They'll probably be expensive, are they? More money than ever to spend on media. I know it's not cheap either. Capture One import now works as the EXIF data, good enough for culling and then cull selection complete. Normal capture process takes over for importing the selected. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. They have now improved it a lot from what it used to be. Capture One is a color grading tool for batch editing and color correction. Photoshop is for pixel editing program. Yeah, they are two different things. I can't get rid of Photoshop. There's no way. Laxton said both are raw editors, but they approach the task totally different. In many ways, Photoshop has become the industry standard, but many feel that Capture One does a much better job. Might as well bite the bullet and get the CF Express. If you can afford it, Ben, I would. I definitely would get it because it's a very robust system, incredibly fast. Like it downloads the images unbelievably quick. I have got the, is it going to show? No. It might show if I go full screen. Let me just go back to here. I have got the, you can only just see it, the Sony capture card there for the CF Express. So I do have that. And it downloads these, 4K 60 files like that. And the photos is nuts. But it's so quick in downloading images off the card to my computer. It's brilliant, actually. It works so well. So, yes, if you can afford it, get them. What else? Just seeing what other people are saying. Like I said, Nikon. Tony Tiger said, laugh out loud. Longroy said, glad Nikon is fighting hard. Yeah, I hope they survive, that's for sure. They're struggling, though. The Z-mount could have been a medium format. It's big enough. Nikon, the official camera for catching stringer bells. 95 said, wow, stacked. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a great sensor in that. Sony A7 III new firmware doesn't give touch real-time tracking. No, they didn't give us much at all, Pema. Not much at all. And I think you're definitely not going to get it on that. You're going to have to wait for the Sony A7 IV. Stop people from switching to Sony. Maybe. The Z9 will initially... will sell well to die-hard fans, but later I wonder if it will be enough financially. It's going to be interesting, isn't it? Depressed now. What was that about? Women and camera should all be stacked. Oh, long rider. Might as well get the Fuji medium format. Last week, I wonder if the Nikon is ever going to compete with pro cameras. Everyone has silicon problems. Yep, they have at the moment. That's what I'm saying. They just can't get the silicon at the moment. Oh, where were we? Don't know. It's jumped a bit. Now, I missed the donation, 95K there. Thanks for the donation. Look up the woodpecker and weasel shot now. What does that mean? Woodpecker and weasel shot. All right, let me see. What does it mean? Woodpecker and weasel. They're American animals, aren't they? Oh. Dear. That is so funny. Can I see it large? Yeah. Let me come over here. Is it Gonna do it. Can it be real? The amazing image of a woodpecker flying with a weasel on its back. Is it real or not? I don't know. I love it. All the memes coming out. What do you reckon? Is that real? I don't know. I've got no idea. I mean, that can't be real. Can it? I don't think so. But anyway, there you go. I did it for you. What else have we got? Buy Blackmagic and learn how to use autofocus. Langston saying, Langston said, dazzle them with the impressive collection of C-stands. They're talking to each other, I think. I think they're talking to each other. A9 lasted about 3 years before the A9 II was announced. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get an A9, a new one, for a while now. I think the A1 was it. Mark said, I have the Canon 85 1.2, so have expensive shooting at that f-stop. You will have less keepers. Experience, yeah, shooting at that. Is there a mobile app? Yes, it's going to be released soon, Langston, apparently. It is going to come out for the iPhone and Android soon. So hopefully not much longer at all. But once you set it, you don't really have to touch it. So that's one good thing. Like, you just set it at home and then you don't have to touch it anymore. But I suppose it could be great to have it on your iPhone, and then you could take the audio off or put it onto your iPad using the USB-C attachment. So that would be something really good for it as well. Has anyone heard of any news of a new RX10? I think there's going to be a camera. There's rumors about that being announced as one of those 3 new cameras for this year. I think the other two, there's probably going to be one that's an RX10. It could even be a ZV-1. A new ZV-1. The other one is going to be the A7 IV. So that's what's going to be coming out there. I do like the roadmap rumor about the new Sony 100 1.4, by the way. Yeah, no, that's sort of disappeared, that rumor, and now it's back again. No subscription bullcrap with Capture One. Yeah, I just bought the standalone package. Yeah, and I did that with the Photo Lab as well. DxO Photo Lab, I bought that too with that one. It's amazing though, like DxO are so quick about updating lens profiles and camera profiles and anything like that. Like, you see, the second you put it in, it gives you all the information about what lens you're using and what the profile is. It's so powerful for lens and camera stuff. Like I said, you know, doing your aberrations and you know, if your stuff is all warped and all that sort of stuff, there's nothing better than using DxO Photo Lab. People still use noise reduction. Are you guys shooting at ISO? Yeah, I do use it sometimes. Topaz AI, take a look at that. Is amazing. Yeah, I have got Topaz. I use that too. I've got a few plugins of theirs, but I find that the DxO noise reduction is better than the Topaz version. Quick is relative if you've been using SSD for a while. It's one expensive hobby. It certainly is. It has a massive improvement in transfer speeds. Well, like I said, the Sony, the CF Express A cards are super fast for transfer. They really are super fast. We'll have to check Capture One. I just want to try something new. I love it. Like I said, I always like trying new things too, and I love Capture One. I really do love it. I love the workflow, the way it works. It's taken me a long time, but I've now gone over completely. Ben said, also take a look at On1. I switched from Capture One to On1 because I find On1 so much easier to use. Will do, thanks for the tip. Greatest wildlife photo ever. Is it real though? I don't know. I took that pic, I would be the happiest boy alive. I'm pretty sure it's real, I'm pretty sure. Affinity Photo has replaced Photoshop for me. It looks good. I've got Affinity on here. I haven't used it yet though. There are a series of out of focus shots with the sequence from the photographer. Oh, okay. Sometimes I need to change audio configuration, so that's why. Yeah, well, it is going to be coming out, Langston. They've said that already. It's just a matter of time. For Capture One, did you get the full program? No, I got the Sony specific version. I only have Sony cameras, so I didn't have to buy the other version at all. Sony A7 IV rumors is stopped. No, it's going to come. You just have to wait. Tony said, hey, David, any secrets you have on staying excited with your photography? No, because I sort of always have, Tony. I think just try new things all the time, you know, and I mean, I'm lucky because I do get a lot of people contacting me, particularly, young models and stuff like that want to do stuff with me all the time. They pay. But I'm lucky I've got that I can keep doing things, and I just love what I do. So I just love it. So I suppose the thing is just try different things all the time, have a look online and then see if you can replicate that sort of stuff is great to sort of keep yourself interested. If you're shooting the same thing all the time, it can become tired and boring. But, if you try and change it all the time, it's a really interesting thing. Besides new gear, yeah. It's just to try different things, that's all. All right, lastly, before I go, because Kerry will have my dumplings ready to go for lunch, I keep the CFast in the main slot because I have become a slow motion hogger. That the 4K all 120p is glorious, yeah, and that's one thing where you do need it. And that's why I got it, because it's beautiful, the 120p. And that's it, David. I see a Sony A1 in your background. No, you haven't. Not for this year, that's for sure. I certainly won't be buying anything like that this year. All right, guys, that's it for this week. Now, next week, I've got a wedding. I think it's on Saturday. I'll have to check. If it is on Saturday, I might do this show on Friday. So I'll work out what day it is. So it could be that I do it a day earlier or on Sunday. So I'll let you know. So it won't be this usual time if I have the wedding. I think it's Saturday next week. So apart from that, everyone, stay safe and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks so much for all the donations. Please give me a thumbs up if you can, guys. Like I said, I am unsponsored and it does make a difference. So I'll see you all in the next video. Catch you guys. Bye for now.